Big Al here on this Monday, November the 7th, 2022. And as we do every Monday, we're going to take a look at the updated standings in both the A and the NHL. And we're going to start off with the NBA standings, games played through November 6th. Kicking in the Eastern Conference, where the Boston Celtics are on top of the Atlantic Division at 6-3. In second place are the Toronto Raptors at 6-4, half a game out of first place. The New York Knicks are in third place at 4-5. They're 2 games back. And the Brooklyn Nets and Philadelphia 76ers are tied for fourth at 4-6, 2.5 games back. Over in the Central, it's the Milwaukee Bucks, still undefeated at 9-0. The Cleveland Cavaliers, after losing their first game, has won 8 in a row. They're now 8-1 and still trailing the Bucks by a game. Then the division really drops off from there. There's a virtual tie for third in the Central with the Chicago Bulls and Indiana Pacers. The Bulls are 5-6 first. And in the basement, the Detroit Pistons, 2-8, 7.5 games out. And Detroit's lost 3 in a row. The Atlanta Hawks continue to lead the Southeast Division with a 6-3 record, followed by the Washington Wizards and Miami Heat tied for second at 4-6, both 2.5 games out. In fourth place, 3.5 games out, are the Charlotte Hornets at 3-7. And in last place, the Orlando Magic at 2-8 and 4.5 games out. By the way, Charlotte has lost 4 straight. In the Western Conference, the Memphis Grizzlies, in the middle of a 3-game win streak, they've taken control of the Southwest Division at 7-3. The Dallas Mavericks, also with a 3-game win streak, sit second with a 5-3 record. They're a game out. They have as many losses as the Grizzlies. In third place are the New Orleans Pelicans at 5-4, 1.5 games out. And then you got the San Antonio Spurs, who a week ago was leading this division. Now they're sitting in fourth place with a 5-5 record. They're 2 games behind Memphis, and they're in a 3-game losing streak. Could be worse. It could be the Houston Rockets sitting at 1-9 and already 6 games off the pace and in a 6-game losing streak. Looking at the Northwest Division, that's the Utah Jazz on top with an 8-3 record. Then you have a tie for second place with both the Portland Trailblazers and Denver Nuggets at 6-3, both a game out. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 5-5 and 2.5 back in fourth place. And at the bottom, you have the Oklahoma City Thunder at 4-5, 3 games back. And out in the Pacific Division, you've got the Phoenix Suns leading the way at 7-2. Then you've got the Los Angeles Clippers at 5-5, 2.5 games out in second. The Sacramento Kings at 3-5, 3.5 games out in third. The defending NBA champion Golden State Warriors sit at 3-7, 4.5 games behind Phoenix. And in a 5-game losing streak, they're sitting in fourth place. And in the basement of the Pacific, the Los Angeles Lakers, 2-7, 5 games back. So there's a look at the NBA standings. Now here's a look at the NHL standings through Sunday. Starting off in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Bruins have the top record in the Atlantic Division and in the entire Eastern Conference as a whole at 10-2 and 20 points with 9 regulation and overtime wins. Then you have a points tie for second place. The Detroit Red Wings are 7-3-2, while the Toronto Maple Leafs are 7-4-2. Both have 16 points and both have 7 regulation or overtime wins. Then you have a tie in points for fourth place with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers. Tampa Bay is 7-4-1 with 7 regulation and overtime wins. Florida is 7-5-1 with 6 regulation and overtime wins, both sitting with 15 points. In sixth place, the Buffalo Sabres, 7-5 with 14 points, all 7 wins in regulation or overtime. Seventh place is the Montreal Canadiens, 5-6-1, 11 points, 5 wins in regulation or overtime. And in last place, the suddenly slumping Ottawa Senators at 4-7 with 8 points and 4 wins in regulation or overtime. Over in the Metropolitan Division, the surprising New Jersey Devils are leading the way at 9-3, with in second place is the Carolina Hurricanes, 8-3-1, 17 points, 6 wins in regulation or overtime. Third place are the New York Rangers, 6-4-3, 15 points, 6 wins in regulation or overtime. And then you have a tie for fourth in points in this division with the Philadelphia Flyers and New York Islanders. Philly is 6-3-2 with 6 wins in regulation or overtime. The Islanders are 7-5 with 7 wins in regulation or overtime, and both teams have 14 points. In sixth place, the Washington Capitals, 5-6-2, 12 points, 5 wins in regulation or overtime. Seventh place is the Pittsburgh Penguins, 4-6-2, 10 points, 4 wins in regulation or overtime. And in last place in the Metro Division, the Columbus Blue Jackets, who has the worst record in the Eastern Conference, 3-9 with 6 points and 3 wins in regulation or overtime. Jumping now to the Western Conference, where the Dallas Stars still lead the Central Division with an 8-3-1 record, 17 points, 8 wins in regulation or overtime. In second place are the Winnipeg Jets, 7-3-1, 15 points, 7 wins in regulation or overtime. In third place are the Colorado Avalanche, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, 6-4-1, 13 points, and 5 wins in regulation or overtime. Fourth place and sliding a little bit back to earth, the Chicago Blackhawks, 5-5-2, 12 points, 5 wins in regulation or overtime. Then you have a tie in points for fifth place. The Minnesota Wild and Nashville Predators each have 11 points and 4 wins in regulation or overtime. Minnesota is 5-5-1. Nashville is 5-6-1. In seventh place, the Arizona Coyotes, 4-6-1, 9 points, 4 wins in regulation or overtime. And sliding to the bottom of the Central Division, the St. Louis Blues, 3-6 with 6 points and 3 wins in regulation or overtime. Seems like a lifetime ago this team was 3-0 and sitting atop the division. Now they're sitting in the basement with a 6-game losing streak. And finally, the Pacific Division, led by the Vegas Golden Knights, owners of the NHL's best record, 11-2, 22 points, all 11 wins in regulation or overtime. In a very distant second place, the Seattle Kraken, 7-4-2, 16 points, 7 wins in regulation or overtime. Third place are the Los Angeles Kings, 7-6-1, 15 points, 6 wins in regulation or overtime. Next up in fourth place, the Edmonton Oilers, 7-5, 14 points, 7 wins in regulation or overtime. Then in fifth place, the Calgary Flames, 5-4-1, 11 points, 5 wins in regulation or overtime. And then you have a 3-way tie for the basement in the Pacific Division with the Vancouver Canucks, Anaheim Ducks, and San Jose Sharks, all with 9 points. Vancouver is 3-6-3 with 3 wins in regulation or overtime. Anaheim is 4-8-1 with 2 wins in regulation or overtime. And San Jose is 3-8-3 with 3 wins in regulation or overtime. Again, all 3 teams with 9 points. And that is the updated standings in both the NBA and the NHL through November 6th. I will be back tomorrow with the college football rankings, both the AP and coaches poll, and the next round of rankings from the college football playoff. And there is some shakeup at the top, I will say that. But we won't know until 7 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow night when they release the CFP rankings. We're also going to be doing the week that was as we recap week number 9 in the NFL. And we'll go through the week 11 college football schedule and the announcers for each game. All of that is coming up tomorrow. So join me for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. Get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and get out there and vote tomorrow. It is election day after all. So get out there and vote. Your country depends on it. Peace out.